Hello, Ktanah.
Hello,
Thank you for joining me.
I'm glad I can.
Uh, we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm glad that it's finally happening. Would you like to give us just the bigger picture of your life? How old you are? Where do you live?
So, I am Polish. Most of my life I lived in Poland. I'm 28 years old and I'm traveling a lot though. I'm not living in Poland since few years. I'm living in Iceland actually. Yeah, and I can say I'm like a global trooper. I can't stay in one place for too long.
I've known you for a while, and I know that is exactly true. You are one of the most well-traveled, on the road, hitchhiking, adventurous people that I've met.
That's nice to hear.
And I'm really happy that we're doing this. Tell me, Ktana, how is it like being on the road the whole time?
It's nice. I like it because I am the person that I'm getting bored, I think, really easily with staying in one place too long. And I like this movement that everything is changing and there are new stuff around me. But on the other hand, in a relations, even in friendships, it's hard to, I think, to travel because you meet really nice people on the road. Sometimes you get really nice connections and then they are gone because you're just moving to another country, and sometimes it's hard to meet each other again. So I think that will be like the biggest minus in traveling. Yeah, that you are just meeting new people and they are gone from your life at some point. But
Mm.
if you keep in touch, then you can still find the time to chat or to tell how the life is going.
There's a thought that comes to my mind when you're talking about building connections with people on the road. And it feels to me that it's somewhat similar to a romance movie where you basically live the best part and they don't really show you what happens once you settle in with someone, the daily troubles. Do you feel like it's that way that you somehow experience the best part and you miss out on the remaining parts, the tough ones?
I think it could be like that years ago, like a few years ago, yes, when I was in my beginning of my 20s. I was really like just living the moment, living the life at this time. But I think now it's changing since I'm older. I'm getting more aware of everything, what's happening in my life. I think that thing changed now. So you can get more connected with people. You can get more in a bad situations as well because you are like kind of older. You have different view of a life as well, so I will agree with that for sure, but I think with the time, with the age, it is changing.
How would you say the theme of your life right now in the last 2 or 3 years?
mm,
Mm.
I think I'm looking for myself actually this time of my life. I am more aware. I think what's happening around me, I have more questions that I want to have an answer. I'm more connected for sure to my body and my brain actually, because I always thought like the body and the brain are two separate things. And since like 2 years, I discovered that this is all connected and it's really important to take care of both of it. So then in general, you feel good as a meditation or as a lot of skills that you can do to maintain it. So yeah, I think that's the moment in my life, like to be aware of me and of my body and of who I am actually and what I want.
So you're referring to like a sense of presence with yourself in a way, like
Yes.
not being too caught up with your thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. And to know my boundaries. I know that it's really hard for most of the people, I think, to set the boundaries. And I think we are all learning with experience, with a life, with age, that this is really important. And it's okay to say no, for example, for some stuff. And now I'm okay with that. And I know that I'm not gonna hurt no one by saying no. If the other person is for sure respectful as well, because it can happen. But yes, I think that's the way.
That's a common problem among a lot of young women to uh, set their boundaries with others. So how was it like to develop this skill?
It's not easy, for sure. But I learned it, I think, by the mistakes, like, well, maybe not mistakes, but by the experience, I think, because I was letting people do whatever they want, and I was thinking like I'm a really empathic person, so I really want to make people happy, and I forget about myself. And I'm still doing it. Sometimes I see it, but I am more strict with it right now. Like if something's like, I am the person that gives, like I am trustable since the beginning. Like when I meet someone, I give a trust to this person, and this person has to do something to, so I don't trust it anymore. So now I learn that I cannot trust everyone from the beginning, and I have to learn the person and know if what are their intentions for me as a friend, as a boyfriend, as in a relationship, whatever, at work. I think it's really important that we learn about our boundaries, because then we can know what we want. Actually, we are not dependent on someone, and we are not like feeling good because someone is feeling good. We are feeling good because we are actually feeling good, and I think that's really important to know your feelings and know your boundaries.
Well, what kind of boundaries? Would you mind giving me an example of that?
For example, in sex, like it was hard for me to say no because I didn't want to make someone feeling bad, or sometimes it didn't even felt like such a big connection, but I was going into it because it was kind of, I felt like this person is expecting that from me, and it's like my duty kind of, or that I have to. And I'm not saying I'm right now like in trauma for that or whatever. That was my decision, but now I learned that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to say that I'm not in the mood, or it's okay to say I'm not into you, because you always think that if you will say the truth to someone, like I'm sorry but I'm not into you, or you're not attractive for me, someone will get sad and it will hurt them feelings. But actually I think they will be really thankful that you said the truth. You're not a liar. That's what I hope, that the people really appreciate the truth.
There's a analogy that I often use when I'm talking to men about how women perceive men. It's kind of like as if a guy is attracted to a polar bear, because women are attracted to men who are much stronger than them, but much more confident, much more capable. So it's an interesting situation for women to be in, as in to be attracted to a species or a gender that is much more physically capable than they are. So there must be some things that come along with this, like, wanting to not trigger them, or being like wanting a sense of predictability and safety to know that this person is emotionally stable, because lack of emotional stability in men can sometimes be very dangerous on women.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. There's like we speak with my friends or like girlfriends or whatever, that we would like a man that was like strong outside and he can fix everything and he's independent and everything. But on the other hand, we would like a sweet bear that's an inside and you can hack him and speak about feeling. But unfortunately, it's not usually going together.
Mhm.
So that's the issue I think here, because you can be a manly man, but showing your emotions as well. And I think the society right now and how we grew up, especially in Slavic, in Poland and Eastern Europe, I think the men's are learned to be strong, to don't have emotions, to don't show it because it's your weakness. And I'm completely disagree with that, because I think you can be strong, you can be independent, you can like be a man, as you say in the society right now, but you can also like just truly speak about your emotions and your feelings. And I think that's
Mhm.
something that the man right now should learn.
Like, I'm assuming you don't mean that you want someone who would act in an emotional way all the time. Am I correct?
I mean, yes, I would like a man who, when there's like stressful situation, I don't mean only men. Like, I think in general, like I am like that. When it's stressful moment, when it's like something that I have to do, I'm just like focused 100%, and I just have to do it. I don't know. I have an accident. I'm not gonna cry and stay there. I'm gonna act, do something. So it's the same with the man. It's nice to know that the man can take care of you if there's like bad situation or whatever. But on the other hand, if there's something, because the men have usually this problem, from what I can see from my experience, problem, I do not call it a problem, but
Mm.
they, if you ask them if everything is okay, they say yeah, it's okay, but at some point they are just opening and telling you some stuff that they could say months ago, but they just wanted to be strong for you to don't think like, so you will not think about them as they are not manly enough.
Do you feel any cultural differences that affect how men um, show their emotions?
I can speak about like Polish or Slavic men comparing to Western European, like Spanish, Portuguese, or French or Italian. And yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big gap, I think. Like, I was in a relationship for 4 years with French guy, and he was really speaking with me about emotions. He was really respectful in some ways, and at home, like in Poland, when you're in a relationship, it's like a, it's, I'm not gonna say it's happening all the time, and it's every relationship looks like that, but we have this thing that the woman stays at home, she has to cook, she has to clean, the man goes to work, this kind of old mindset and everything. But when I was with this French guy, I remember once I asked him, "Could you help me with laundry?" And he was like, "I will do it with you, but I'm not gonna help you because it's also my duty to do so. It's not your job to do it." And I was really impressed. I remember I was like 20 years old, and I learned something different in my life. I was like, all the time in a relationship, I had to take care of it, and I thought it's my duty. And then finally, someone told me, calm down. This is not your job. We can do it together. We are partners. We live together. We pay together the rent. We clean together, and etc. So it's nice to know that we are equal. And I think that's the difference between the cultures there. Like the Western European men are respectful in it. I'm not going to say all of them because I don't know all of them. But I think the Polish men are more like they want the woman to do most of the stuff for them.
20 years is, when you're 20-year-old, is pretty young.
Yes.
Was this the longest relationship that you have been in?
Actually, you can say yes, because it was like 4 years all the time. I was also before that in 4 years relationship, but we were all the time breaking up, being together, breaking up, being together. So it was a bit more complicated and more toxic.
There is a sense of excitement in this toxicity, though.
This is funny. I spoke with my therapist about that and with my friends that I have this pattern that I'm attracted to bad boys, kind of, you can say so. And it's because I really want, inside of me, kind of, I really want to be in a relationship that is exciting. So there are emotions, there's everything happening. And that's why I am like into it or going into it. But I spoke with my therapist about that, and this is a bad pattern that I have. But I realized recently I started to date a guy who's really healthy and in his head, and really opposite to the guys that I was dating. And it's really nice, but on the other hand, I'm feeling I'm bored. I'm bored. Like there's not so much excitement that in a toxic relationships that I had. But it's okay. That's what I have to accept right now. That's fine. That's okay. It doesn't have to be fireworks all the time. It's good to be neutral, and it's still good. You just have to get to know it and accept it, and understand that this is good. It's nothing wrong.
You compared two of your experiences with men as one that is more quote unquote healthy versus one that is more toxic.
Mm-hmm.
If if you measure this just by the impact that it has on your emotional attachment, who would you say that you're more emotionally attached to?
For sure, the toxic relationship. You are more, yeah. But it depends. Like, I don't have much experience in healthy relationships, though. I don't know so much about that. Maybe if I get to know it, maybe in a few years I will say, no, I was wrong. Maybe I prefer the healthy relationship, and I hope it's going to be like that, because otherwise I will go in my toxic pattern again, and I don't want it.
Is it possible to strike a balance, as in to have both elements, to be in a relationship that is exciting, but at the same time not self-destructive?
I really hope so. And I believe it can happen, but maybe you just have to find the right person. I really believe so.
I've always had this fascination with understanding this concept of the nice guy, as in the guy who is more agreeable or less toxic to be around. And my assumption is that the world is full of nice guys, more than the percentage of them is much higher than the toxic men. Would you agree with me that this is the case?
I believe so, but sometimes there are men you don't even expect they are toxic, because they look really healthy and everything, and at some point the demon is going out. And I'm not gonna say I am in those toxic relationships that I've been, that I was perfect, because when someone is toxic to you, you start to be toxic to them. So it's It's something that's like a circle. So yes, but I think maybe you're right. Maybe there is majority of the men there are the nice men. It's like yeah, I think that can be true.
How does this toxicity kind of influence intimacy and passion? Does it make intimacy more interesting?
It's hard to say. I think it also depends from the person which you have connection with. But I think it's normal to have more emotions in a toxic relationship. So that means that when you have more emotions, you have more, I don't know, excitement, all of the emotions. So I think those toxic relationships are just more intense.
What attracts you in a guy, Ktanah?
I like when he's independent. He can take care of himself. He knows how to cook, how to clean his house, how to fix something in the house. I like when he's confident, for sure. And I like funny guys. Yeah. I like when they make me laugh, yes. And yeah, and I would like a man to be respectful as well to me. I would like him to have me in his life, like when he's making plans, he's thinking about me to ask me if I want to join, or that I am kind of a part of his life. Like it's not like I'm there, but I am for granted. Like I would like men to still do something to get me, even when we are in a relationship.
You're talking mostly about men that you would have a relationship with. I'm
Yes.
also curious about what makes a man a good lover.
Sometimes you don't expect from the man that he's gonna be a good lover. Actually, like he looks like you will not want to be with this guy in the bed, and then it's like a shock when you're getting into the bed. But I think this confidence, that's if we just speak about sex in general, yeah, I think the confidence, it's one of the main points, because then you
So
feel like
more
care of.
decisive.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, my style of sex, it's more like I like to be not dominated. So I love when the men are really, confident, and I know that they know what they are doing, or they seems like they know what they are doing after you will see in the bed.
Can you tell? Are there clues that you can get? Because this is something that is on the minds of girls quite often, is how do you even know if that man is going to be confident and decisive and dominant in bed? Are there outside factors that you can see before that happens?
Yeah, you can hear that in a conversation. If he's confident about himself, you can see it.
Do you have experience with women or just men?
Yeah, with women as well. Yes, I'm a bisexual.
How would you, look at men and women differently in terms of sexual interests?
With the womans, I have specific type. I think I like when the womans are really tiny and small, and that I can take care of them, and we are like both together as a female power kind of thing. And I think the sex with a woman, it's less rough, that's for sure. It's more like a love. We are making love than having a crazy sex, like rough sex, I can say. And with the men, it's different. And I also have a different connection. I see, like, with men, I can be in a relationship, I can develop more connections, and with a woman, it's just sex for me. I can't fall in love with a woman.
Are you more dominant with women than you are with men?
If I am more dominant with women than they are with men,
Than you are with men, because you
then
said that you're more into being submissive with men, but
I like to
that's
be
not a requirement
with
with women.
women as well. I think it's just my style. Yes, I like when they have control over me as well. The women are not so aggressive as a man, I think, in a bed. Comparing to, most of the girls, I think there are a lot of girls that like to dominate as well, I guess. But I think the man can be more aggressive than a woman, in my experience.
But would you think of yourself as more sexually adventurous than most women are?
Yes, definitely.
And what is stopping women from exploring this adventurous side of life?
It's sad to say, but I think it's just society. In Poland we have a sentence like people are saying like that, like when the man is fucking a lot of women, he is a super nice guy, and when the woman does it, she's a bitch or she's a whore. So I think it's just the society and how we how men can do more than a woman, and they are judged. The women are judged more for everything, even for being a mother. Like, I don't know if you see this pattern, but the woman is mostly judged. Like if the kid will come to the kindergarten with dirty t-shirt, it will be because the mother didn't clean the t-shirt, it's not because the father didn't make the laundry. So I think in our society the men are allowed to do more than a woman, and they are judged less than a woman's.
The way I'm seeing it is that women also judge each other quite a bit. Women can have they're a little more advanced at it. There's a lot of gossiping that could go around.
I agree
Do you have
completely.
experience with this?
Yeah, I agree completely about that. And actually, I don't have much female friends because of that. My friends are mostly guys because I feel comfortable with them. The women they are jealous of each other. I think that's the thing. There's this jealousy between us, and we want to be better than other. And that's why I remember when I was like young, or when I was like 16 or something, most of the girls, they had girlfriends, and the guys guy friends. Like it's normal in school, whatever. And I was more in the group of the guys always. I never trusted girls so much. I think I'm more like easygoing person, more as a man than a woman as well. I don't want to say that it's every woman, but I think it's harder for me to find a woman that I like as a person, like as a friend, because I'm not sure if they are true. Like I can say them something, but if I would tell my friend, not best friend, but like someone I met, I will tell them some secret. I will not be sure that she will keep the secret. Comparing to the man, also, I will tell him a secret. I am more sure that he will keep the secret.
The hidden truth here is that a lot of men don't really remember. That's the
Also,
thing.
could be they care less maybe about that. Yeah, that could
They
be true.
focus on different aspects, I would say. Women have this capacity to remember, because they emotionally attach a lot of the things that happened around them. And when you emotionally attach something to an event or something that someone said, it really sticks into your mind.
Yeah, could be. That's a nice opinion.
Since we're on that, tell me, Ktanah, have you ever found yourself in a love triangle?
So I was in the threesomes, and I was in a threesomes with my boyfriend as well. We took some girls a few times, and we made some rules on the beginning, because it's different when you're in a relationship or if it's just random people or your friends or whatever. I think you need to set some boundaries, like say what's okay for you, what's not. So in the meantime, you can say like, hey, I don't like it. But I think I'm not a jealous person in general. So if I trust someone that I'm with, I'm just trusting this person, and that's all. And something will happen, this person will come to me, and then we can talk about that. But I don't want to overthink that something didn't happen yet, but it can happen, so I'm worried. I don't want to be this kind of person. But yeah, I was in a threesomes, and some of them were really funny actually. I was in a threesome with my really good friend and his fiance, and actually at some point we were seeing for some time, for like 2 months or 3 months, and we were going to dinner together, and we were going to cinema together. Like we were spending time as a couple, three of us. And actually, I remember it was one of the best summers I had. It was really amazing time, and I really enjoyed it. We were both speaking a lot and sharing our emotions, how we feel, always asking if everything is okay to do or to don't. So I think the communication is the key here.
So it was your male friend and your partner.
No, in this case, as this summer, like a good summer, I said, it was my really good friend, the guy. He was a good friend of mine, and his fiance.
What kind of rules that you set that could make something like this work?
Sometimes you don't feel comfortable in some stuff, like for like when I was with my ex and we took a girl first time, I remember I told him like I don't want him to like have anal sex with her. I told him like this is something private between you and me, and I don't want you to do it with her. And he agreed. It was okay. If you don't feel comfortable, I'm not gonna do. And I remember here in this threesome that I was with my friends, it was the same situation actually. This girl was not feeling good that he will do anal, so we completely agreed. We say okay, we're not gonna do it, and I get it because it's something really private, and maybe you don't wanna share something like that with your boyfriend and with another woman.
Is there an emotional cost to add someone to your life, like a third person to your relationship?
What do you mean?
As in some negative feelings that could build up over time.
It could, if you're a jealous person, I think. Then it could happen. But for me, it was always like if I have a threesome with my boyfriend, we are not gonna do it again with the same person. It's always a new person, because I don't want them to develop connection. Don't want that. Because then maybe I could be jealous. I'm still human. But we can still be friends. Like, we can be friends with this girl, but just don't do it again.
I mean, jealousy can actually act as like a catalyst. Like, it can be something that adds more emotions to the situation, but it can also get you inside your head and it pull you out of the mood when something is going on.
Yeah, that's true. I am against jealousy. I'm not going to say against, because it's normal. We are all jealous sometimes and everything. But a lot of my relationship finished because the man was jealous. And as I said before, I have a lot of men friends. My friends are like males, so sometimes the men I'm seeing, they are not okay with it, and they are jealous about it. They say it's okay. They say, yeah, you can go have a dinner with your friend or everything, but after they are jealous. So it's something that I really don't like, because or he's trusting me or he's not trusting me, and that's all. That's the deal.
It is very easy to, to develop emotions to people who are new to our lives, and somehow this can take us away from the person that we're with. Did you have an experience with this? Then you were with someone and you developed feelings to someone else?
Actually, no. Never happened to me. No, it never happened to me.
Is your bubble this kind of open-minded bubble that those kind of things are talked about? Or do you feel like a lot of the things that happen in your life, you don't want to bring it up with people that are close to you?
There are some aspects, some situations in my life that they are my private situations, and yeah, it's normal that you don't want to share it sometimes. But maybe if I will get to know someone better, I will say it. Like, I think our relationship traumas that we have, I think it's important to share it with someone that you're starting to date, maybe. To let them know what's your experience, how do you feel about some stuff. Just communicate between each other. But it's normal that it's hard to speak about the topics that are just traumatizing for you. It's even hard to speak with a therapist about that, or whoever.
I mean, it gets even harder if you're having a relationship that is long distance,
Oh,
because
yes.
it's very easy to lose connection over time. Do you have experience with that?
Definitely, yes. So this French guy, as I said, we were 6 months in a distance relationship. He was in Canada, I was in Poland, so it was really a big distance. And I remember the first 2-3 months were kind of okay. We were talking a lot by phone, but at some point we were just getting frustrated that we don't have to. We stopped to have topics to speak about, because what you're gonna say again every day, what you've done, it's like it's starting to be boring. And also this connection, like, we made a deal that we are not going to sleep with no one else, so I was like half here wanting him really much, and we had like virtual sex, like, and it was also frustrating at some point, because you want to touch this third person, you want to smell the smell of him. I think distance relationships can be hard. For us, it worked okay. After I came to Canada, and we were really happy together. But we were at the point that I wanted to throw my phone by the window, and I didn't want to look at it no more, because I felt like my phone is my boyfriend. So it was frustrating. It's really hard, I think.
How did you deal with this frustration those 6 months? Like, did you have any kind of physical connections with others?
We had agreement that I can have sex with women. So I did once, but I didn't feel when I'm in love, I am this kind of person. When I'm in love, I don't want no one else. And even if I would do it with someone else, it doesn't give me so much pleasure, because I don't feel this. I don't see this person that I want to see. So it actually made me more frustrated, because I got something, but not what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not 100% of the person and their presence and their touch.
Exactly. But there are people that they are in open relationships and they can do that, and it's fine. And I completely understand that. I just know that it's not for me. But if it works for someone else, I'm really happy for them.
Well, open relationships are extremely complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we look at them, we're usually looking at the examples that worked. But a lot of the situations I've encountered and the people that are around me in my life is that open relationships, and a lot of times, can be an indicator that the relationship is ending, because perhaps they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it because they're bored of each other, or the sex is not so good. So they decide to experiment with open relationships. In the majority of the cases that I've come across, the relationship is just started to get worse and worse over time.
Can be. I mean, I have friends that they were in an open relationship for years, and I see them that they are not with this person no more. So that could be a case as well.
Would you ever be in an open relationship?
It's not for me. I can share something with my partner. Like, we can do some crazy stuff, but I would like to be involved in it. Yeah.
What is the craziest thing you've done?
Let's think.
Your wildest experience.
My wildest experience. I had sex in the kitchen in the hotel and also in a restaurant at the night when no one was there. That was a funny story, I think. Yeah. But the craziest, once we went for after party and there was a couple that was having sex and I was just there looking at them and they were like fine with it. And they were my friend was near me and we also started to do something. So we all started just to fuck. It was kind of funny, yeah. I could say, yes. So we were 4 of us.
Would you think of it as a period in your life that you would do those things, or is in your personality that you didn't change the kind of person that wanted to do experiments and crazy stuff?
So I'm still open about the sex topic. I like it a lot. I mean, sex in general. But I think I discovered, like, when I was younger, I was really, like, into threesomes or some orgies or stuff like that, sharing with more people. But I think now I experienced what I wanted, and I'm fine with it. Now I think I just want to be with one person.
You want the calm kind of version of it.
Yeah.
Are men afraid of using tools like sex toys in bed in general, from your experience?
On me, no. If they use it on me, no.
On you, yes.
But if I want to use them on them, then yes, maybe.
I mean, what kind of stuff would you use on them?
The man likes to be played on the back as well, but they are too manly or too whatever to, just say okay to it, And I remember with my ex, for example, he bought me an anal plug and I bought him an anal plug. It was really nice, yes.
So men are afraid of kind of losing respect if they experimented a bit too much. It's
really funny how you called it, actually, losing respect, because I don't think it's like that, but that's how the men would say it, yes.
They're
funny. Yeah.
From their perspective, it feels
exactly.
like if they let go, then you're gonna start seeing them a little differently.
Yeah, but it's not the case. They shouldn't feel like that. We are getting really excited that we can make them so horny or so somewhere in the cloud experiencing something new. But I see like the men don't have such a courage to like choke. Like I like to be choked, and I see that they are afraid that they can hurt me. So I usually have to calm them down and explain them everything, and then they are getting more comfortable. But it's with the time.
That's something I wrote about a while back, which is the proper technique to do it, because a lot of men don't even know that you're not supposed to stop the airflow. That it's just you stop the main arteries when you're choking. So it's not like you want to torture her, get her out of breath, but it's a really good sensation when you're blocking the blood flow that goes into your brain.
It is. There's a system that I like to use if they are afraid on the beginning. They can like hold my hand, and on the other hand they are choking me, and I'm like squeezing the hand really strong. And when I'm letting go, that means I am like fainting kind of. I'm in this moment that I'm like not breathing no more, and this is the moment you can stop. So I think it's good to find this connection when to stop, because I think that's the scary thing for the men, because they don't know when to stop. They don't want to hurt. So I think this
like in martial arts, like in jiu-jitsu, they teach you how to properly choke someone and how long it takes until he passes out. I would assume looking for men in that field can be a little bit like they're a little bit more experienced with the body. And that's the thing, that martial arts do teach you quite a bit about the bodies of others and how to control it and how to submit it. I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of men who are experienced in martial arts are actually good lovers.
The first time I was really choked properly, it was the guy who was MMA player. So he knew how
Mm.
to do it, yes, properly. And I
Mhm.
trusted him. I
Interesting.
trusted him a lot, actually. I really trusted him because he knew what he's doing.
It was a theory in my head. It's good that you
But
confirmed
yeah,
it.
it's true. I confirm. I really agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's another thing in jiu-jitsu is like it's you win by submission. So you win by submitting the person. Like you take them to the ground, you constrain them, you choke them. You don't pull their hair.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I think they
what
have more experience about that, yes, definitely.
I mentioned in one of the articles that it's something that you should introduce at this playful teasing phase.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put your arms or put your grip around her neck
Mm-hmm.
and you just press on the points that you choke with,
Mm-hmm.
like the 2 points on the side,
Yeah.
and you pull her hair with the other hand,
Okay.
I would assume it's such a big turn on for a woman because she also feels safe around him that he's gonna fuck her well.
Yeah, but I think it depends from the woman's because I like this kind of stuff, but some women don't like this kind of stuff. Like my best friend, for example, we are completely different with this topic. Like I like it rough, I like it crazy, and she's really like she wants to have love, she wants to feel connection. She doesn't like the man to hurt her for it. So I think it depends from the woman.
When did you know that you are interested in this kind of rough part of sex? When was the first experience?
I think like in my 20s, like when I was 20, 21, I started to feel more comfortable with sex. And I just started to speak what I want because before it was, you are young, you're just experiencing everything and you are stressed if you're doing something good or wrong. And then when you get confident, you are confident about saying what you want as well. What are your needs and what turns you on?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you the question that is on everyone's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Does size matter, Ktanah?
No, it doesn't. It
Be
doesn't.
honest.
If it's too micro, no. I'm really like sure. The size doesn't matter really. You can do a good job with a small dick, and you can do a fucking bad job with a huge dick. So it doesn't matter. But I think the most important is the foreplay because some of the men doesn't know how to do it properly, and I think that's the main deal. Because if you are not getting me wet before, then what's the point? Like you want to just. The sex is not about just you feeling good. It's about both people feeling good at the same time. And I think those men that are not playing with you before sex, they just want to enjoy themselves. That's all.
It feels selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
I've come across subreddits where people like it was subreddit for men with small penises.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very interesting
But what
experience
do
to
you
kind of see
mean
the
small,
world from
if I
their
may ask?
perspective.
What do you mean by small?
I would say like maybe less than 12 centimeters or something like that, 13
Okay,
centimeters.
okay, okay.
So below the average, because I think the average is about like 15, 16, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the country. From my surveying and my conversation with women, it seems like that's really regionally dependent. Like, I mean, the obvious thing, the Africans are a little bigger, Europeans or white men are a little smaller, but I would say on average, like maybe less than 12, 13 centimeters. And
Okay.
the biggest issue that those men were having in sex wasn't really the size, but it's the confidence that they would show because it really reflects their capacity to even get women to practice and learn. Foreplay is important because to know that foreplay is an important aspect of sex, you have to really disconnect from the porno world where, the plumbers is gonna just take her pants off and fuck the shit out of
Yeah.
her without saying a word.
Yeah.
And a lot of men take their experience from porno,
Yeah.
but the ones who take it from the real life, they would have to have some characteristics. The most important one of them is confidence.
Yeah.
And if they're not confident about how they're going to look like when they're naked, then they're going to have less partners, and though they're not going to know the right way to deal with a woman's body.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's the same with the woman as well. Like, if the woman doesn't feel comfortable in her body, she's not gonna feel comfortable in the bed.
In general, I would say women are a lot more self-conscious about their bodies. Tend to somehow perceive themselves a little better, and women seem to perceive themselves a little worse than they actually are. The ego of the man somehow inflates the image.
Can be, yes, can be. That's a nice point of view. Yeah.
Would you agree with me that it's mostly the responsibility of the man to establish the safety and comfort that would allow the woman to express herself a little sexually?
Yes and no, because I think that both of the partners should say what they want. I will don't want a man to just do what he wants and because he's feeling comfortable and then I have to go with it. I think it's important to communicate, but yeah, at some point I agree that if the man is more rough, more aggressive, more something more confident, then it also gives you more confidence in yourself because he's really into you, that you can feel it because he's really like an animal, so you know that he's attracted to you.
Have you ever a long relationship or medium-sized relationship with someone who was not good in bed?
Like I was 1 year with one guy, and on the beginning the sex was not super. It was okay, but it was not the best I could say. But after a while, after a few months, he got to know my body. That I can say it was one of the best sex I ever had in my life. After that,
But that's something that a lot of women are afraid of because they don't want to really take the lead and teach the man. They would really just want a
they
man
know.
who already kind of gets it. It's the ideal scenario because also you're gonna be confronting his ego
Yeah,
quite often because if you're correcting what he's doing in bed, he's gonna feel like less of a man because he lacks the knowledge.
yeah, but I think that's the problem of the man in the case because we are not wizards. We can't read in someone's minds. We are all different, and especially woman's body, it's completely different. We get excited in different parts of our body. We like some different stuff. I've been with the women's as well. Some women's like to play differently than I am playing with myself. I think it's the way to learn each other, and I think the man should listen to the woman if she's telling them what to do, because that means she's willing to tell him. That means she's attracted to him. She wants him to improve. And if she would not say nothing and she would just let him do something that is not making her pleasure, that means she's not attracted to him enough to explain it and to grow in a bed.
Yeah, I mean, if the woman is willing to put the effort to confront your ego, that means that she really wants it because it's very easy to just not show up on the second date
Yeah,
because
exactly.
things have not gone so well.
Exactly. Or maybe also
Um,
the women's feel. I think also it's the thing that maybe that the woman that they don't want to say it because they feel that they can hurt the feelings of the man. But I think they shouldn't think like that because we are in an intimacy moment, like we are really intimate, and I think if you show your body to someone, you can. It's easier to show your body than your soul right now in those times. So I think this communication in the bed shows your soul, kind of. What do you want? How do you want someone to take care of you?
after having sex with a guy, what would be the things that he would do in this sex that would make you not want to see him again?
Also, you have to take it slow, I think, with those, because I like rough stuff, but you have to do it slow to get to know person and everything. But I think it's just everything, because we are attracted to the smell, to the hormones, to pheromones, to everything. So sometimes you can find a person attractive, really attractive. You can speak with this person, it's really nice, but then you go to the bed and you just don't find the connection, you know that, and it's fine.
Hmm. Hmm. That's one of the aspects that are extremely important here, which is that you need to introduce certain levels of safety
Yeah,
to kind of for the woman to let go of control.
yeah,
But if like a lot of men when they're experimenting with rough sex, they think every woman wants to be roughed and so on. So I'm gonna prove to her that I'm a good lover by just starting with the most hardcore shit
yeah.
before anything else.
Oh, that's not how it's supposed to be. And you can have also rough and slow sex, I can say, and that's
Mm-hmm.
also super exciting.
Because it builds trust, it builds familiarity. It kind of opens the door for you to experiment a little more.
Yeah, and also I think it's nice to speak in a bed, like what would you like to do? So then you see the
Mhm.
expression of the person if she's into it or no, or you can like have a dirty talk kind of, and then you get to know person more about what they like.
On the topic of orgasms, I'm curious, what are your views on that? So, is it is it something that's highly dependent on the person, or there are things you can that it's in your mind that you can do, you can make yourself orgasm despite the level of skill of the other of your partner?
I think the mind here it's the main point. because as I said, all the women were different. For example, with me, never, only one man and only once made me come by clitoris, and I have to do it by myself always. Like, yeah, the man can't make me come by the clitoris. It's impossible.
Hmm.
It's impossible. Just one man did it, and once, and that's all. And it was when we were like 3 years in relationship already, you know. So it depends the person. I think it's really complicated for the women, especially. I think the clitoris orgasm is more complicated as well. Some women doesn't have vaginal orgasms at all. I had my first one when I was 26, so it was also something new for me. And I think it's in my head at some point. Like maybe I'm too stressed that it's taking me too long. That's why I prefer to do it by myself. So then it's faster, and I really don't know how it works. But with the orgasm, it's really complicated. I know some women that they are coming really easily.
Yeah, it's such a deep, complicated topic, and it also differs from person to person
Yeah.
due to the anatomy. There are a lot of shared characteristics amongst women, but for a man to fully understand it, he wouldn't have to have like a script in his head, but he would have the ability to test and see what kind of woman that he is with. But this comes with experience and time and having a lot of partners. Um, what is the experience with multiple orgasms? Is this a thing that happens to you often?
Not often, but it can happen, yes. For example, the anal sex makes me having like the squirt. I can have it only when I have anal sex. And it happened to me a few times. And I had like triple orgasm, like anal, squirting, and clitoris all at the same time. But it's not something super common, I would say, for me.
Is this something that you would hope that, every partner that you're with would know, or you wouldn't tell them about anal orgasms, for example?
To know, what do you mean? To know how to make me come like that? I think it takes time to know some of this orgasm. What I said, it happened when I was in relationship already for a few years. So we were like getting to know each other every day and for years. So I think this is the connection as well. Yeah, this orgasm topic, it's kind of complicated, I would say. All the men does different things, like play differently with you, and some stuff are nice, some stuff are differently nice, and it depends. It depends.
Like sex is enjoyable on its own. A lot of men get stuck into their heads that they want to give a woman an orgasm, and this is really puts a lot of pressure mentally on her because she feels like the guy is putting too much effort, and she feels like she wants to satisfy his ego by giving the orgasm, and then she gets inside her head. Is
Yeah,
that something you've experienced?
yeah. That's why sometimes I'm not gonna lie. We sometimes fake orgasm. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it happens. It's just, yeah, but I think the women that does it, they are just young women still, that they cannot express themselves, because now I can say like, it's okay, I don't have to come. The sex, it's still good. It doesn't have to finish with the orgasm to be good. So it is fine. And I think it's okay. Like, you just need to get to the point when you're okay with saying it.
This psychological efforts. I mean, a lot of women, as you said, are not really okay with expressing that. But one way that I found that to be effective to get women to relax a little is by telling them that they're not even allowed to orgasm. And that way they feel like you're not trying, and it gets the pressure off, and somehow it helps them even have better orgasms because they feel like, you're not even allowing them to do it.
I mean, it could work, yes, because then you don't have this pressure in your head that they want you to come right now, like, come on, come on. I think that could work, yes.
Have you experienced with kind of like this advanced level of dominant sex, which is like edging? It's kind of the psychological level of it, where constant teasing and not being allowed to come and building the orgasms over time. Have you had partners that experimented with this side?
Yes, I did. Like when the man has control and he's just telling me what can I do or what can and what I cannot do. That makes me really excited. Or like when they
How
tell
common is this knowledge?
me, I think if you are the woman that is aware of your body and aware what you like, and I think it's really easy to say what you want and stuff. as I said before, it's not really common for me to find a man that wants to have such a rough sex as I like. But on the other hand, there are a lot of men that I will not expect that they will be like that, and they are like that.
Because you kind of awaken that part in them in some way.
Like, for example, the guy I'm seeing right now, he's really healthy, calm guy, and I didn't expect that in a bed he will be an animal, and he is an animal. So, but we are still learning each other, and that's also really nice and also really exciting.
So it was a good surprise.
Yes. Definitely.
Good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ktanah, for having this conversation with me.
Yes.
I appreciate it so much. It was so open, and I loved the energy that you're bringing in.
Thank you.
You're a very expressive person.
Yeah, I just hope it will also help some people, like some women and the men, to get to know more. It's only my experience as well, so we are all different, as I said. But I think it's good to look from another perspective sometimes.
That's what I'm trying to bring in here. I'm trying to kind of surface the conversations that a lot of couples would like to hear or would like to know about. I've been writing on this topic for a bit, and a couple of people emailed me and told me that when they were sharing the articles with their friends, they were kind of worried, as in it's kind of like giving your friend a gift as your antideodorant. It's like you're sending a message that you smell bad, right? So this is such a sensitive area to bring, because you don't know if the person is going to receive it in the way you imagine it, or they're going to take it as an offense. So you're always dancing with other people's egos when you're bringing out those topics.
That's true. If someone tells you, you don't overthinking this, you're just hearing it as the person says. And a lot of people have this overthinking. Like, they said it, but maybe they mean something else. Or for example, like, I think we should all stress less and really take the words as they are.
Not overthinking it. Absolutely with you there. It's like our egos sometimes are our biggest enemies.
Yes, they are.
It's impossible to learn when you think you already know everything.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, yes, I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ktanah. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well.
All right.
So have a good day and see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.